And we're going to get started for the evening. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to Black Blockchain Consultants. My name is Cherie, and I am your leader. I've got some great panelists here tonight helping me out. First of all is I need a good adjective for you, Dwayne, but our tech force here is what I guess I'll call him.
I know too
Dwayne's
much.
here. Would you say?
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
And then we also have Anita Calloway here.
Hello.
And Derek Q is his name in the Flock group, but you can see he's Derek here.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I want to welcome everyone tonight here. And we have a lot to go over. The primary topic for tonight is maximizing your study groups. But before that, we have other things we want to go over as well. So just remember that this group is not just for the digital underground, or it's not just for Wacoinda or Women Who Crypto. This group is for anybody who wants to learn more about blockchain and potentially be a blockchain consultant. We also don't discriminate based on race. So if somebody is not Black, but they love the cultural relevancy that we put and the spin that we put on things, they're more than welcome to join us as well. So I wanted to start with an article that I found here, and I want to share my screen with you. And panelists, just so you know, I say stuff and then I kind of throw it out to all of you to respond, so so that people can get real, real responses, and I can get real responses too to some of the things that are happening. So I wanted to first of all share this with you. We're always talking about the different opportunities that are coming out with blockchain consulting. And last week, this article came out, over the weekend, it was March 17th. Big Four giant PwC announces blockchain auditing service. So what they're going to be doing is, I'll read it for you here. PwC, a Big Four accounting firm that has supported various blockchain projects, has announced a blockchain audit service that it claims will encourage people to use the still new technology, according to the Wall Street Journal. PwC was expected to present the new service Friday. The service will allow companies to offer an outside review of their use of blockchain technology, thereby ensuring they are using it properly and enabling employees to monitor the company's blockchain transactions. And what they're going to be doing basically is going in, probably with some sort of checklist, and saying, is your blockchain secure? Is it this? Is it that? And based on that, they'll probably get some sort of a grade, is what I'm imagining this audit is. And then of course they would be able to upsell their services from this. So my question to you as my panelist is, what do you think about this as either a career opportunity or a business opportunity? Because PwC goes to very large businesses, but eventually there'll be mid-sized and smaller businesses that we can capitalize on and maybe do the same thing. I'm always looking for different ways that people are approaching blockchain consulting. So any of you want to jump in and talk about this topic?
Well, PwC has a good program where they allow you to partner with them. So if we get enough of us educated, we could actually build a team and then partner with PwC and go in on some of their contracts.
I did not know that. That's very interesting. See, you learn something new every day. So I guess with something like that, we would need somebody to head that up and really, do the research, figure out what it would take to be a PwC partner. But having a PwC brand or name behind us could be great. And we can, like Dwayne is always saying, utilize that MBE certification, that minority business certification, and wrap that into what we're doing. Yeah.
That's right. But yeah, I think Derek was right. A lot of these big companies, they partner with these smaller companies to do things like this. I feel like those companies like Primerica and all of those kinds of companies. I think those are like backed by bigger companies, by bigger like Citi. I think Citigroup
Mhm.
owns that.
They do.
So they would, yeah. So I think that's possible. I think this blockchain council raised the price because I got everybody signing up for it.
Well,
So I'm
well, they brought it back down again because we were all angry, and I think they got quite a few emails about it. So Anita, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that it's going to be great from the standpoint of whatever direction we want to go to have access to them to get ourselves our foot, getting involved without doing it by ourselves and branching out in both directions. Because when you're looking at with the type of teams that we're looking to develop, we can be doing both independent stuff on our own as well as having the backing of a large company like that, and it look good on our resume.
Absolutely, absolutely. And some of us, so I always make it clear that being an entrepreneur is not for everybody. Some of us may decide we want to keep our jobs and just do this as a side hustle. Well, that's fine too. There are others of us, like myself, I happen to be full-time in my entrepreneurship. So there are things I can do during the daytime and then bring it back to the team and say, hey, you guys want to work 5 to 9 on this, then go ahead. As long as we make our deadlines, I don't care. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities like this, and what I'm foreseeing is we're going to need some people, some leaders, because I can't do everything. We're going to need some leaders that are going to see some of these opportunities, bring them to the group, and then we, get a cluster of people, small cluster, to actually go and capture those opportunities for us and then bring them back home. So that's the whole point of having a lot of people in a lot of different locations that are able to, to do this, or at least guide us in the right direction.
right.
So Nafisi is asking, are we moving towards a blockchain consulting firm? Great question. I personally am looking to have a government contracting company, but we can create as many companies as we want. I also want some sort of a product company as well, because I don't want there to be a ceiling on my income. So if somebody came with a great product idea, there may be some of us that want to work on it together. I honestly see a lot of companies coming out of this group, especially as we grow and expand. So consulting can take on a lot of different hats. And it's really about, as we're studying, thinking about what our end goal is. And again, Anita, Derek, I welcome your responses to Nafisi in regards to that.
Sherry, what I'm thinking also is that I think we'll find out more things as we go along further, only because I remember very early in the computer field, it was very narrow in terms of you just being able to do computer data entry, programming, and systems analyst type thing. But then as the field started to grow, it started to widen up so many different directions. And a lot of people had no idea that those kind of opportunities would have even been available. So I think that we're in an excellent position right now to get started early, to be able to get educated early. So as these different things start opening up, we're right there on it, making decisions as to how we want to move.
Fantastic. Derek?
No, I think just like you said, we're in it at a great time because the CEOs are just starting to think about bringing in blockchain. So it's really, like I said, it hasn't even gotten down to the manager level and all those. So there's going to be so much opportunity, just like you said, because we have the knowledge up front. They just, I think it's endless right now. I mean, I think the opportunities are endless.
Right, right. And we're thinking large companies now, but mid-sized companies in this country, a mid-sized company is 200 people to like 10,000 employees, 200 to 10,000 employees or something like that. So a lot of people don't know is that mid-sized companies employ, small businesses
Most of
employ the majority of people, but like a lot of people only focus on Fortune 500. But there are a ton of these mid-sized companies out there that are, 3-4 years out from really getting on this thing. And that's where there's going to be some big money as well. Dwayne, you have anything?
I think there's a lot of what I like about having a large group is that, and I don't know everything yet, but as we go through and really learning all the blockchain, see all the applications, and then you get to understand what it really can do, then you can figure out. A lot of people have a lot of different experience in different industries and see how the blockchain could help their industry. And then you can have that, those people could become kind of expert in that industry to see how blockchain can help that. And that's where I think the consulting can come to. Like, how we set it up legally. I mean, I can come up with a million ways to do that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it'll be like, I hate to say like Wu-Tang, but like, you do the Wu-Tang thing, right? You get the big contract with everybody in it, and then people could branch off and do their own thing, but they bring back pieces of the money to the collective so we can do more things.
Absolutely.
Right? Because if you have people in healthcare, you can have that healthcare part. Somebody, I see that happening. I see that possibly, people can get that kind of contract, that kind of work in healthcare companies and using blockchain, and then you'll be amazed. Once you do a good job once, you'll see how the work
Just
keeps on
coming, yeah.
It just comes.
Nobody wants to think this. No one wants to, I know a guy, and everyone is still in this age of internet and everything else. People still want to have somebody on the phone say, yo, you know anybody that does this stuff? Oh, we did something with this. That's all people do. It still works, that personal influence. So
that's what I'm saying. Let's not be afraid of the big companies, because again, what I've learned, and I've consulted most of my career. So I've been the consultant majority of my career. I just went back in-house a couple of years ago. So like I said, these big companies, we think they've got it together, and they are so lost.
They are.
Yeah. If we do, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, and they're always looking for minority businesses to work with and women-owned businesses to work with. So I know this group, WeBank, which is all about women businesses that connect with Fortune 500 companies, and you get a special slot on their purchasing. Like they have an approved vendor list, and this is, there are ways to get. I don't want to say further ahead because you still have to work for it, but there are ways that you could set yourself apart in these companies, in these large companies, and some of them can keep you on for years, as a contractor. So so there are a lot. So thank you so much to Tessa for putting that CBE course link in there for us. So please, if you're asking about the CBE course link, please go into the chat because Tessa is taking care of us tonight. Thank you so much, Tessa. Karan is asking, I'm new to the group. Do you recommend a book or source to read to get up to speed with my knowledge base? Instead of a book or a source, what we're doing, Karan, is that Certified Blockchain Expert course is from blockchain-council.org. That I'm finding that I'm learning a lot from that course, and I'm really enjoying it. I have 4 courses. It's what, like 20, something like that, 22, and I have 4 left. And I have learned like all of these terms that Charles and Jyrone and Victor have been throwing out. I finally get what they're talking about. I'm like, oh, that's what they were talking about. So my suggestion to you at the very least is to take that class. So that class is $99 and you get the certification as a certified blockchain expert. If you don't want to be certified, you can go through Udemy in order to get that exact same course. The only difference is you will get a certificate of completion and not be a certified blockchain expert. But that course I would really suggest, and it's about 4 to 5 hours to take. So someone else is asking, is this part of the DUIC? No, this is not. However, I would love to work with the DUIC on some things eventually. So, so I toggle between both. So let's see, we answered that. Do you have to renew the certification? This is what Corey is asking. Do we have to renew the certification? I don't know, but you never stop learning.
I think it's probably too new to determine that right now.
Yeah.
They'll probably eventually do that later, like they do accountants and things like that for a money source.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
So,
on it already.
Jamie, we're going to answer your question about the discounts, which is why I have Anita on. So give us a second to get to that. But I wanted to, before we go there, I have some announcements to make in regards to everything that we're doing. We promise that we will answer the question about discounts, which is why Anita is here, because she is the discount queen, and she has some stuff to share. Before we do that, though, I have a few announcements. Number one is I sent an email earlier today to people who filled out the Google form but did not pay. That means that you are not a part of what we're calling now the inner circle. And the inner circle are the people that are in Flock, that are getting study groups, that are working together on apprenticeships, all of that stuff. So if you want to be a part of the inner circle, you need to, at least for $60, you need to decide by the end of March to become part of that. On March 26th, which is next Monday, the Python courses start. So if you really want to be a part of the inner circle, I kind of suggest you decide in the next couple of days if you want to take Python on March 26th. Otherwise, you can start in April, but it will cost you $100 to join the inner circle at that point. And then I think it's April 16th or something like that, is the day that the Python courses start. But you can start anytime. I'm just letting people know the differences in pricing in terms of being in our blockchain consultant inner circle. $60 price ends on March 31st. The next thing, I'm so glad you all liked our website. So let me show you our website if you have not seen it. This is our website, blackblockchainconsultants.com. So this is a way for you to, in the words of Willie Jolly, tell Lottie, Dottie, and everybody about us and what we're doing. Instead of having to send the Zoom link and things like that, you can literally, as you're talking to people at, your job or wherever, church, wherever you are, they can just, on their mobile phone, come to blackblockchainconsultants.com. It's one page right now. It's super easy for people to sign up if they want to sign up for the Zoom class. I did a video here earlier today, so it explains, why this is Internet 3.0, some of the opportunities that are coming, why they should potentially join the group, if they should join the group. So they can watch this little video. We have our free report, should you become a blockchain consultant, that they could sign up for if they want more information. We have here our About Us information. Again, people can sign up for our monthly meetings, and I've decided that our monthly meetings, which are on the fourth Monday of every month, will be open to the general public. And then Flock and some of the other things we're doing in the inner circle will be just for people who have paid. But I really want this group to be a group of service, and being able to invite people to all of our meetings is going to be one of the ways that we do that. And then we have a simple contact us section down here. So with that, I want to open it up to my panel here. Thoughts on the website?
Looks good.
Looks great.
Exactly. Got all the information you need. You done good.
And you say you're not a techie. Yeah, right.
Exactly. Very
I-
good.
I'm
Professionally
not,
well
you
done.
know what? I'm embracing the techie in me. That's what I'm doing. So instead of just saying I'm not a techie, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to figure this out. And it took me the better part of the day. I was supposed to be doing other stuff. Yeah, but it's up. So this is a great way for you to drive people just to this website instead of having to explain everything. Just say, go to the website and get the information. So we also have just want to show you the inner workings of our special report. So Anita, I know that, I thought I had it open here. I know that you said to me earlier today you wanted to come to the website so you could see what people were going to be looking at. And I thought that was funny, but also true. So I just want people to know when their friends come, what their friends are going to see. So I also wanted to show people our special report here, just really quickly. So this is, should you become a blockchain consultant? And, stop sharing. Let's see here. Why does it do that? Okay. So it's saying here, Black professionals are capitalizing on Internet 3.0 and you can too. And it's also, this is posted in Flock. It's a pinned item in Flock. So if you want to download it and share it with someone, feel free to. This is free knowledge that we're giving to people. So we're not hoarding this specific special report. But it's answering the question, should you become a blockchain consultant? What is the blockchain? It's letting people know that. It's letting people know, and we had a big conversation about this in Flock today, about changing of employment. This thing, a lot of people are about to get laid off in about 5 years, and it's going to be a lot of our people. And we've got to have a way to introduce them to this and really help people. So this will be one way that we can. Go ahead, Dwayne.
I was just thinking as you were saying that, because before I even understood what blockchain really was, all I knew was that it was going to take away people's jobs that were like, I'm a lawyer, right? So it was going to take away people's jobs like escrow businesses, like different kinds of businesses where you have to have a third party, have the trust, and, you put the stuff in my Ola account, until the case is over or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
They will build a technology where you don't have to trust. It will just go there. And, when all these things are, DIW token is working on one of those escrow services now. So I'm thinking that, as again, I'm doing a lot of different things, and this is just one of them, but as we go along and I learn more about this, we could probably figure out which industries are going to be most, or what jobs are going to be adversely impacted by this, and try to focus out on those people. Like when we get this to be a commercial thing, because I don't see myself, like as we go along with all of these people, we'll be able to make our own course material and work.
Absolutely. So I bought blackblockchainschool.com. blackblockchainschool.com, and it is going to be a platform similar to Udemy, and we'll probably white label what Dwayne has, but we are going to, because there are a lot of people that have the teaching bug that are part of our organization, and not just for me, this is for as many teachers want to. If you're in healthcare, if you're in entertainment, if you're in real estate, and you start seeing use cases, creating different courses that people can take so that we can touch 50,000 people per year. That is our goal, is to be able to train people. And I was telling Anita earlier today, we might have a certification from a group that doesn't say Black on it.
Exactly. That's what
Right.
Abstract. But there are going to be people that are going to come to us because we are the Black blockchain school. And then, and there are going to be people that want that culturally relevant teacher working with them. So So the other things that I have in here, what does a blockchain consultant do? So I give some examples of that. Qualities of a great blockchain consultant. It was said to me by somebody that had really great intentions that I might have been putting unrealistic outcomes out there for the group. And I really took what this person said to heart. So this section is about what it takes to be a great blockchain consultant. You've got to be able to think outside the box. You've got to be able to drive business outcomes. You've got to be a logical thinker. So one of the people in my study group is an artist. And I said, well, that's interesting. I'm going to observe her and how she takes blockchain and translates it into her art business, you know? But we've got to be able to, you know the platforms. Number 4, understand the security. And at the very end, we've got to be able to be great teachers and articulate these concepts to normal, everyday people. And if you are looking for a quick buck, or if your friends are looking for a quick buck, this is really not the place. This is like a 12 to 18 month, let's ramp up before we can really hit those goals. But my goal is everyone in this group should be making $150,000 or more. And if you're not, then let's figure out why not. So, and that may be, regular job plus side hustle, or, you may end up investing in a product that the group is putting together, but some sort of way we should have above average incomes in this group. If we're not, then something is up.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
Go ahead, Anita. What else were you thinking?
One of the things I was thinking is I had the opportunity to look at a post that someone put in the form with the real estate, with the blockchain. Someone actually bought a house using the blockchain technology. So that goes right along with what Dwayne was saying in terms of the occupations that some people had and what they were doing. And that's going to cut the process down. That's going to cut a lot of people out of the market. So this thing is going to hit big. And when it starts rolling, it's just going to start rolling. And the people that are currently in positions of doing this stuff are going to want to go with the flow, but not know how to make the transition. Because that's exactly what happened when computers came in. Everybody was like, okay, we're going to computerize our stuff, but no one knew how to take whatever businesses they were doing and actually computerize it.
Right. So a lot of it is productizing the blockchain. And what I'm discovering just from being in business for as many years as I have is that the people that make like tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars are people that have the products or platforms that it sits on. So like the Ethereum guy is a billionaire because he built the platform that everyone else is building on. Jeff Bezos is a billionaire because he built the platform that everyone else is building on. So my question is, how can we create something that's a platform for everyone else to build on? That's when we get the $1 billion company. That's when we get real power in this group. So I have just a couple more things here. I know there's a lot of stuff. I told you I wrote this list and there was just a lot of stuff. So you're just going to have to bear with me tonight. But I want to make sure that we are seeing everything. The next thing is in regards to Flock. So for those of you who are general public, this is our internal communication system. If you have paid, I have sent an invite to you through whatever email PayPal came from. If that is not the right email, then please send me your PayPal email and then what email you want it transferred to. Otherwise, I won't know, because I have to pay for everyone's membership in Flock. I won't know what membership to take out so that I'm not double billed. So please, if you would do that for me. If you have not accepted your membership into Flock yet, please do that. But I just want you to know that there are some channels that you should be a part of. The first is this BBC, Black Blockchain Consultants Hub. So in your Flock, you should see that. Number 2 is the knowledge sharing. Robin Atwell is one of the people that's putting a lot of good articles, actually great articles, into this knowledge sharing piece. You also want to be a part of blockchain news. So in the next few months, we're going to start a weekly newsletter where we're going to outline some of the big blockchain topics so that if you are at a job interview or a cocktail party or networking event, you can know what's happening currently in the blockchain. Also, make sure you're connected to job opportunities, whether or not you want employment. Connect to job opportunities and also connect to apprenticeship opportunities. And then finally, the course curriculum. So I just want to make sure that everyone's seeing this. You really want to be connected to all of these. Okay? And I'm going to send out the list probably tomorrow. Make sure that you're connected to all of these channels because different information is going to come through different channels.
And you just pin them. You can just pin them to your to the side. You can pin them so they're in order because I know it gets to be a lot. All the conversations you have, it might end up being a lot of different conversations and messages, but you can just pin them so it can just be one block on top.
Okay. All right. So CBEs earned. If I left your name off, please charge it to my head and not my heart. I tried to go back and find everyone's names, but this week, Derek, who's here, earned his CBE. Tawana, Shanette, Kim G, Talisha, and Anita, you also earned your CBE as well. So I want to congratulate you. If you have earned your CBE and you have not posted it into Flock, please post it. Let us know because we want to celebrate with you. So please let us know if you have earned your CBE. And Derek and Anita, I'd love for those of us who haven't taken the test yet or haven't even begun certification, just tell us your experience and some things we should look out for.
Again, of course, it's a 45 question test. I don't know what happened to me. I don't see you anymore. But it's 45 questions. You've got to get 32 right to pass out of the 45. Some of the questions are tricky, so it's not, you think it's direct, but they're kind of talking around some stuff, but you haven't really think about what they're trying to get across. So it is not just a direct, whatever you learned in the course, you can run right in and take the test kind of thing because there is some nuances to the questions they ask. So like I said, interesting experience. I mean, it was like I said, the test was kind of, it asked about a little bit of everything. So it touched on a lot of the different topics that he talked about in the class. So like I said, just all in all, like I said, I think I did all my studies and then I went and took the course right after doing it. Don't know why I did it that way, but I'm like, I hope I retained enough to pass this test. And I did, so it was all good.
I found it a little tricky also. I did exactly like Derek did. I spent 5 hours doing the course materials and took the test right after it and failed miserably. And the reason I failed miserably is because they have the trickiness in the question is you would assume that it's only like a one answer. So be careful when you're answering your exams. When you'll see that there's multiple opportunities for you to make an answer, but check, see if you can do more than one answer. If you can do more than one answer, then the question does have more than one answer. If it's only a single answer question, you'll only be able to select one thing. So that's how come I failed miserably, because once I corrected that, because I went and retook it, they said in one area that you have to wait 2 days, but right after that, I went right after because you can review what you did wrong. And I looked at the review and went and took it back immediately and passed like with 93%. So it was like kind of crazy that there's no way I would have known that in advance because it doesn't tell you check to see or more than one answer does apply. So you don't know that.
So what it is if it's a multiple question, it's a square. If it's a single question answer, it's a circle.
Okay.
Wow.
Dr. Keisha saying that's good to know.
Yeah, that is very good to know. Yep.
So I saw a couple other people, Tessa and Tyrone. I saw you in the chat. You got your CBEs as well. Congratulations, Lisa Douglas. I know you earned your CBE. Congratulations. Congratulations to everyone who has gotten their CBE. Anita, I want to put you up now. Tell us how we can save money.
Well, yesterday in one of the areas of knowledge information, Tessa put out some, you and Tessa put out some great information about courses on, and they were $11.99 at the time. I think a zero, maybe a day or two. I have a availability of being a part of a group that's called Ebates. And it's also a referral program. So anything that you buy, if they're participating in it, you get a rebate back. So what happened is I took those 4 courses that you and Tessa had mentioned and looked at them on Udemy, and it gave me a $2 discount, which I put in the forum so people that were buying at that time could get the $2 one. But when I actually make the purchases, because of me being a member, it gave me a total of $9.80 back. So the total of the courses, which were $39.97, actually I took $17 off totally. So that was like really awesome. So if you'd like, I could put that referral link in the chat so anybody that wants to buy things futuristically on Udemy or any other kind of participating thing that they buy, like Groupon or any other kind of thing, they can get little discounts. And what happens is it collects to a certain point and they send you a check in the mail.
Great. And yes, please post that in the main BBC hub so
Okay.
that we can have access.
I'll do that tonight.
Yes, please. Thank you. So here's the deal. And Anita and I had this conversation, and there's no right or wrong answer. Even though we're still navigating, a part of it will depend on what your end game is. So the Udemy courses have certificates of completion, but they're not certifications. So for me, for example, because I want to do work in the government loves certification. So I'm going to pay a little bit more to get the official certifications because I want that on my LinkedIn. Oh, that's another thing. Your CBEs, put those in your LinkedIn, add that, because that can be very powerful for people finding you for potential jobs or potential business stuff as well. So, going back to LinkedIn, or going back to what I was saying, you can, it depends on what your final goal is. Like, I'm working or want to work with the government. If you, for example, are an artist and you don't want to work with the government and you don't want to work with some place that is going to ask you about a certification, then the Udemy courses are great because they will save you a lot of money. So just thinking about that, kind of having some idea of what your end game is. Even if you're just thinking of your end game in terms of what industry you're in, and asking yourself if that industry tends to favor that paperwork or not. So, you know, just wanted to throw that out. Anita and I had a really good conversation earlier today about that. And Anita, would you tell the story of the interviewees and how the person who interviewed them didn't care about, their degrees?
Sure. One of the things that we were talking, I think it was 2 weeks ago, Dwayne was talking on the line and he was sharing about his experience in IT and his passion. I got really excited because I have a similar background. I've been in the IT field for about 30 years. And in the video that you have on our website, you were talking about modems, and I happened to start laughing because I go back as far as key punching cards and mainframe machines. So today, Dwayne.
Modem. I know as a kid, I was like, what is it?
2400 baud, yes.
Yes.
2856K.
Yes. So what happened is,
We're telling our agency. We're telling our agency here. That's all.
so one of the things that I noticed that, you know, the industry has changed so much so now that I've been working with the company I'm working with now for 20 years, and we have an opening in Chicago, and our management, it went out to hire someone, and yeah, they were looking at their background, but the number one thing that they did is they had some selective questions that they were asking the individuals to see what they knew. So it wasn't so much about, you know, what they had on their listing of where they went to school or what their certifications were. They were talking to them in a certain lingo and saying certain things. So if the person didn't know what they were talking about, and this goes right back to what Dwayne has been saying over the last 2 calls in terms of why he wants us to take Python, is because even if we're not going to be programmers, to at least know the language and know some things in the event if someone says something to us, to lend the credibility that we're knowledgeable in what we're doing. So I understood that right off the bat.
Yeah, so one thing you may think about, again, thinking about your industry and what kind of company you're going to, is does the certification get you through the door to the interviewee? And then when you get in front of the interviewee, you better know what you're talking about, which then goes back to the qualities of a great blockchain consultant is somebody who can speak tech with the tech people and non-tech with the non-tech people. You got to be able to break it down for people who aren't in the industry, but know what you're talking about for people who can smell BS. And that's the case. So one of the things we'll talk about just in a second is the study groups. And the point of the study group is not to just pass the test. If you're just doing the study group to pass the test, you are missing the whole point. The point of the study group is to make sure you're able to articulate and understand whatever concept it is that, you know, they're trying to teach you. So for example, I'm taking the CBE course, and I ended up leaning on my study group because I don't understand Merkle root and Merkle tree. Like, I listened to the guy 3 times, I'm not getting it. So now I'm going back to my study group saying, I can pass the test without it, but I kind of want to understand what the heck he's talking about here, because I have the feeling that that's important, but I'm just not getting his explanation. So I'm sure someone within the group will say, okay, Cherie, this is what he's really trying to say. And then I can say, oh, okay, got it, moving on. So I have one more announcement to make. I know a lot of announcements, and then we'll answer a couple of questions, and then we'll go into the study groups thing. So my last announcement is in regards to Block Geeks. So Dwayne has been talking about Block Geeks, and Block Geeks is kind of like, I call it Encyclopedia Britannica for the blockchain. So if there are concepts, it's always updating new concepts, new things that are happening within the blockchain industry. My study group and I did some research, and we discovered you can have a lifetime access for $500 for, they say, teams of 5. What we're doing is we're connecting with other study groups and trying to see if we could get 25 people to share that $500. And each study group, for example, 5 study groups, 5 people per study group, then each study group will have its login, its own login. But that way we can buy it once and have it forever. So if you want to get groups, you know, of people together, put it in the Flock group and see if you can get a couple of study groups together in order to purchase that lifetime Block Geeks subscription, because that will be very, very helpful in your pursuit of knowledge, and also save you some money as well. So with that, I see we have 15 questions here. I'm going to try to answer as many as I can, because I also want to respect everyone's time. Let's see here. Corey is asking, what is Python, and then what is the inner circle? So I will answer what the inner circle is, and then Dwayne, I'll have you talk about Python. So the inner circle is the group of people that have paid their $60 and are participating in the study groups, the apprenticeships, the job opportunities, the business opportunities that are going to come from this group. So anybody can come to our monthly membership meetings, which are going to happen the fourth Monday of every month. Anybody can take the courses. We are going to post the courses or give the course listing, to anyone who wants to take those courses, because we are not here to hold and hoard knowledge. But the real action is going to happen in the inner circle. That's where the study groups are happening, the apprenticeships, the job opportunity postings, all of that stuff is happening in the inner circle. And that is $60 per year if you sign up by March 31st. Otherwise, it's going to jump to $100. But I have already gotten so much from it. I've already gotten, more than $60 worth. And I think that anybody who is a part of this group can say the same thing. So, Dwayne, you want to answer what Python is?
Oh, Python is just like when I learned Python, it's just one of the languages that you could use to build web apps, or you could do data analysis. It's just like an introduction into programming. And in order to understand blockchain, you got to kind of understand, if you want to go to the developer route and really be able to understand what developers have to do, then Python is an easy language to learn. If you can learn that, then you can do the Solidity course and it makes sense. Because once you learn one programming language, it's easy to learn other programming languages because they all have, like, let's say nouns, verbs. Once you understand language, then it's easier to understand another language. Some of them are like, I remember strongly typed, loosely typed, different types of type, but they all have loops, arrays. They all have a certain data structures that are in everything, like JavaScript. I could have easily said, let's do JavaScript. But I know that Python looks more like a natural language. Like when you write it, if you didn't have any knowledge of what a language does, you could probably figure out what you're asking the computer to do. That's when it's more like a natural language. So that's why I picked it. And a lot of companies pick Python. A lot of stuff are built on Python. I remember, I don't know what happened yet, but I remember like 2 years ago, like YouTube was still a Python project. Like a lot of different, so you can look at, there's a website called Built With. I think it's Built With. And you can see what websites are built with. You can see all the different technologies that whatever website you go to, what they used. So again, this is a large group. I know Python is easy to use, and I picked it as well because it's because Python is you can use it in different places. Like let's say you don't want to do this blockchain stuff. After you learn how to do a web app with blockchain with this, I have some scientists in here. Some people hit me up in my Brooklyn blockchain. They are scientists, and they would say, "Oh, this is great because I just want to learn this so I could do some running numbers and data analysis." So Python is very powerful. It can do that. So I just figured that this is something that even if you didn't want to continue with it, it's something that will still bring you value and a benefit. So that's why I picked it.
Right. So question about the cost of the Python course. So Coursera's cost is Python for everybody. It's $49 per month. It'll take us about 8 months to get through the entire course. So $49 per month. Dwayne and I worked really hard to find courses that are very, very low cost so that we can all get in. So
and it's taught by the University of Michigan. Like it's not a crappy course. It's a great course, and these are five parts specialization. So you're going to have to do like a capstone at the end. So you're actually going to know how to program. Like you have to do the work. Like you're not just going to get the specialization and they get you. That's what I was like talking about LinkedIn, because they once you pass it, they put it on your LinkedIn for you. Like it's all set up and everything. And Coursera spends a lot of time making sure that people can look at it, because actually it was built so so companies can have a way to find new talent, find, you know, more talent. So yeah, the quality of the teaching on Coursera is not Udemy. It's not the same thing. So, you know, you have Python, you have that. And I think that in addition to, with everything that we're learning, like this, the certified blockchain expert, I feel like that was just for me. I just said, okay, that's kind of cheap. And I just want to actually to keep people honest at the start, you know, like to separate the people who are very serious in doing it from the people who were just like, oh, you know, I want to just get involved. So that's why I kind of picked this, and it was very thorough. So, Derek, you took the course, you took it. Now, do you feel like you know a lot more about blockchain now?
I do, because it's just like Cherie was saying that you heard those concepts in those different meetings and groups, and you're like, okay, you don't understand what they're talking about. And after sitting through that course, I'm like, wow, now that's why they use that, and that's why they do that. So really, the light bulbs started clicking all over the place.
Right. Right. And that's all it was supposed to do. So imagine if you have that now, you continue with Block Geeks as you're going through it, right? Because they have a lot of good articles. They teach you all about the different tokens and how they work. I love that. I don't ever have time to read all the white papers. I'm just I read a little bit and I'm trying to send them the money, but they go through every single thing. They go through different ones every day. So if you really understood what Cardano really is trying to do, you'll see why there's no reason why it's only 13 cents now. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But, right, and you'll see how some things are just hyped, and you'll be able to see through the hype. You'll be able to see through it and see what they're actually trying to do it. And then as we go on and get better at this, then you'll be able to, I figure at the end of it, you'll be able to say, okay, people want to get on the blockchain. How do we do it? I think that, yeah, we can tell you, okay, this is the best thing for you, and pick what technologies you want to use or what's better for your particular, what's best for your particular need, right? Because there is going to be EOS, Cardano, all these things are going to come out, and they're going to be different platforms. Should we do this on an Ethereum platform, or should we do this on a Cardano platform, or should we do this on a Neo platform?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like,
yeah, and one of the things one of the things that I'm seeing is that we're going to be able to learn when to use the public, like if we're consulting, let's say a client, should we suggest a public blockchain or a private blockchain for them? What platform should we use? This goes back to that blockchain audit thing that PwC is doing. That's all they're doing. They know that they're vendor neutral, like we want to be. They know all the different platforms and all the different possibilities, and then they're just going to be able to plug people in. So Nafisi is asking, can we set up a study group for people with a crazy schedule like mine? We can meet when everyone is available for that week. Yes, post that in the Flock group and see if you have other people that have that varied schedule. Sharita's asking, can you provide a list of all the resources we need, please? Yes, so tomorrow morning I will send you that list. It's going to be a very long email, but I'll also, because I saw someone asked about how do they join, I will also include the links for you to join. There are two. You got to fill out a Google form, and you have to pay through PayPal. Cody is asking, how do we join those other channels? Once you're part of the BBC, the main hub channel, those other channels should just show up, and you should just be able to get in them. So Dr. Keisha, I know you're part of all those other channels. Is that the way that it works? Do you remember?
Yeah, well, you know what? It seemed like I'm not sure if I actually got the real feel, you know, as a normal user, because I think you had me in first and I hadn't even paid yet and stuff like that. So,
okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I guess I can't speak intelligently because it seemed like it happened. And everything just happened to me, so it seemed like if that's what it works for everybody, then it should just pop up to the right on the side, because I don't feel like I did anything special. Okay. Besides sign up, and here it was.
If someone can answer Cody's question in the chat, I would really appreciate that. Someone's saying here I had to search for the other groups. So I will give a listing in the email tomorrow, and if you'll search for the groups, you should be able to join without me approving you for those other groups, because you're part of the big BBC umbrella. Um, let's see here. Oh, someone is asking, is it Udemy? No, it's Udemy, Udemy, Udemy. Charita's asking, where do you earn the CBE? It's from blockchain-council.org. Blockchain-council.org. Dawn is asking, do you earn the same thing in both the Udemy and the blockchain CBE courses? The answer is yes. The only difference is if you go to blockchain-council, you get a certification, a certified blockchain expert. If you go to Udemy, you only get a certification of completion. Those are the differences. So with that, I wanted to go to study groups, talk a little bit about study groups, and then we'll probably have another 15 minutes conversation here. So study groups, I pinned earlier today the updated study group list, and it's a list of everyone that is a part of the BBC and their preferred study dates and times. So you can either go to that list, find some people that have your same preferred date and time, or you can post within the BBC main group, hey, I'm looking for a study group that meets, this date around this time. Does anybody have an opening, or is anybody interested? And you will have people responding to you. So those are the two ways that you can find study groups. Also, group names. I have heard some really good ones. Blockchain Billionaires is one that I heard. Blockchain Beauties is another one. I love the creative names. Please tell me what creative names are coming up for your study groups. So I also see groups for geographic groups, like Dwayne has the Blockchain Brooklyn group. I might start a DMV group for the people in the DC area. So if you want to start a Chicago group or whatever, that way you as BBC members can get together, in either face-to-face or virtually. You can do that as well. There is no limit to the number of groups that can be created. So whatever you need in order to reach your end goal is what I want you to do. So I have some things I wanted my panel here to comment on in regards to great study groups. I think that a great study group is a group that helps you, and they also help you finish whatever you're trying to achieve. So we have a long program, even though it's not long in terms of life. When you're talking about Python being 8 months, you really need to have a group of people that are going to encourage you in month 3, 4, 5, 6, when either things get a little bit more difficult or life gets in the way, your kids are working on your nerves, your boss is working on your nerves, things like that. I think a great study group is a group that's going to help you through those difficult times. And it's also a group of people that you feel obligated to, like, I've got to show up with my work and with my work done. I kind of wanted to throw out that concept and also ask the 4 of you, what are you looking for in a study group, and how do you know a study group is effective, and those types of things.
Yeah, the study group, it just has to, sometimes what I used to do with my study groups is that we all do the material, right? And then if there's it depends on how many people's in the group, but then I would say, okay, I'm going to be the expert at this. I'll be the expert at chapter 1. Derek, you be the expert at chapter 2. So you do your work how you're supposed to do your work. But I need you to read chapter 2 5 times, so you're the expert. You can teach this class. You know it backwards, forwards, sideways. Because we all have limited amount of time, right? But if everyone's doing one part to become an expert at, Now you lead that part. Now we're going to move to chapter 2. Derek, take it over. And now you're going to lead it, and then we're going to go through it, and you're going to be able to say, okay, this is right, this is wrong, and this is why. And each person does that, then we're all going to do a lot better. It's going to be a lot more efficient. So that's why I was just very stickler at the start. Like when we were first talking about this, I'm like, oh, I don't want any bums in my group, because I'm going to be dependent on you to really, and you'll find that when you really do that kind of studying, and when you really do that learning, and you really do that teaching, then you learn better. You learn, like I remember when anatomy and physiology was like one of the hardest things for me to learn for some reason, but Krebs cycle. I still remember Krebs cycle. This was 20 years ago. Krebs cycle, like ATP, like I would do it over and over and over until I can make it make sense to someone. And then, and breaking it down to the smallest common denominator, that's when you really know it. That's when you really know you know it. So I think I'm getting excited about it, because, you get those paradigm shifts where he's like, oh, that's what that really meant. So if we have everyone trying to do that, and that can do that, then I think that it's going to be a lot more efficient, and I think that we're going to have a lot more fun doing it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for. People got to be ready for the work, and we just like again, everyone has to do all the work. You have to do all of the work, but then you got to go a little further and become an expert at this part, because it's your responsibility to make sure that everyone else, no one's left behind like that, right? Because it's not like, oh, I don't know, and then I don't know, and no. You have to know. So that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that technique you're talking about, Dwayne, is called a jigsaw strategy.
You see?
Education. Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah, nice job. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, nice. Yeah. I guess I'm still trying to get my group together. I know I'm doing so much, but so I may tag on with somebody else's group or something.
What day and time were you looking to meet?
I was Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah,
so we have 90 people on this call, so it got to be a few people. Thursday at what time?
Okay.
I'm doing Thursday at 9 to 11.
Oh, wow. Okay. I think I was 7 or something like that.
Are you
7
Eastern?
would work best for me.
Are you Eastern?
Eastern. Eastern, yeah.
Thursday at 7 Eastern time, Dr. Keisha is looking for a group. So if that works for you, if you already have, Karan is asking AM or PM? PM.
Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
7 p.m.
Day
Eastern.
starts at 5:30, but yeah, that would be going to work at the desk at 7:20. So yeah.
So yes. So Derek?
I think it's more the accountability piece, like you were saying. There's going to be some days we don't feel like doing it, and you need somebody to be able to say, "Hey, you got to get it done. Did you get this done?" So there'll be some days where I don't feel like doing it. There'll be some days when someone else in the group is just not feeling it. So it's the whole thing of keeping each other accountable, keeping each other engaged, and I think that's the biggest thing for me. Just making sure on them days, if you come into the group and you don't have your work done, we're calling you out. It's not about putting you down or anything. We're making sure each and every one of us come with our A game every single time, or at least, like I said, you got to bring it in. So I think that's the biggest piece for me.
Yeah, Anita.
I'm just looking at the fact that we've got a lot of people that are mentioning that they're beginners, or they don't have any experience, or they don't have any knowledge. So from the standpoint of them trying to get involved in something new, and yes, they're trying, but they also have questions or uncertainty, but wanting to do it, and yet making all of us accountable to wanting to do it, as Derek's saying, when you don't feel like doing it anyway. For instance, over this weekend, I was pressing myself that I wanted to get that CBE done, because I know we had that meeting today, because from today's meeting, something else is going to come up that I'm going to need to get myself positioned for, that I don't need that continuing to be over my head of something to do. So it's just the fact that holding ourselves accountable, having deadlines, having, Dwayne was saying, listen, you have to do certain things. Like, I might not have wanted to do certain things, but yeah, now you're going to do it this week, because somebody else is doing it next week, because this is how we all participate together, and it's not too much on one person, because that's what things can end up being, too much on one person, and everyone doesn't benefit as a group because they're not participating. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited about it. I'm excited about this whole organization and what we're doing. I shared with you earlier that I haven't had the experiences in the past to be a part of dynamic Black people that are moving forward with some things. Usually I've always seen that we've got ideas, but I have never seen us come together with concrete plans. And so I'm so excited about what the caliber of individuals that are in here, whether it be the posts, like you were mentioning, Robin Atwell, and different people that are just posting different things. Every time I turn around, someone else is putting something else in there to look at and say, wow, I'm like, where are they finding this stuff? So when someone was asking, is it worth joining? That really, you have no idea. It's invaluable. I think this group that we've got going on here, to even if you're not sure what you want to do, but just to be a part of this cutting edge of technology and seeing what it's doing, that's a benefit right there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm in agreement with that. That's what this is all about. I like everyone, and I like Cherie's hustle. Like I got all these crazy brainiac stuff, but I'm busy. Like she'd be like, okay, put it into a, okay, here's a package. So like that's what I was looking for a long time from everybody else. That's why I don't have a problem just working with everybody. Because this is I've done this before. In '93, I've done this before. People will pay us money to do this. I mean, they will. They will, because they don't know anything. And then we'll be above and beyond. That's what I'm saying. I just want us to be better than, the regular guy.
Absolutely.
And then we also can leverage this with all the developers that we have in the DU already.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So come back in September, October, or whatever. Now those guys are in the cut, that they're in here doing this all day long. They're not out there getting money and getting business.
Nope.
So you need both sides of it, right?
Absolutely.
And we can help them as much as they can help us.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They also, so Jarvis, for example, for people who are not familiar with the Digital Underground, Jarvis is one of the applications that's coming from this group that many of us belong to, the Digital Underground. Well, with Jarvis, they're going to need testers. They're going to need other things. Victor, I wouldn't dare butcher his last name, but Victor is going to train us on how to do these things. That is one of the apprenticeships we're working on. We also want to try to work on an apprenticeship with Lamar. I also know someone else locally who has offered potential apprenticeships to us. Various people that we have over 80 people that's part of this inner circle now. You'll come with an apprenticeship opportunity and blast it out to the group and say, hey, I need 10 people. I have this friend that's doing this blockchain thing. We need 10 people to test, so we need 10 people to do this or that. And that's how we're going to get the theory as well as the practicum in this group. So that's
the part I'm looking forward to do. Learn by doing is going to be the critical piece, much like what you were saying, Anita, when you're going to that job interview. I mean, my goodness, you can get certifications left and right, degrees, all that kind of stuff, but it's that person who can bring that, that body of work to the table and, really speak to, anything anybody asks them about. You can, speak with some sincerity and some, affinity. So.
Absolutely.
But anyway. Yeah.
So I was laughing during, I think it was Dwayne who was talking about not having slackers in the group. And I thought, I know quite a few people in this group, but I don't know everybody. And if I had a potential job opportunity or business opportunity and I didn't know you and I didn't know your hustle, I probably would go to one of your study partners that I do know and ask the question, hey, did this person show up with their homework on time? Did they always have excuses? Because one big thing for me is my reputation. And if I say, no, I can vouch for this person, like people pretty much bank on me if I say that to them. That's the type of person that I am. So you think that, I know I haven't done my work for my study group in 4 weeks. They're, not paying attention, or they're okay with it, or it doesn't matter. Let me tell you, it matters. It matters because when those job opportunities come up, you never know who's whispering in the person's ear, girl, don't take Anita because she don't come with her homework done. you know, and especially if that person is bringing you into their current employer, saying,
Right.
I can vouch for this person because they're part of BBC. You know, I'm not bringing anybody into my current corporate world
Yeah.
unless I know that they've got their stuff together. So it matters. It being on time matters, you know, being together matters. I understand that some of us have kids and things like that, but living up to whatever you say you're going to do, living up to that is very important. It's very important. So we've got a few more questions here. Let me just see. Robin is asking, did we figure out the newsletter? No, I need to get with you, Robin, in regards to that, but we definitely want to do that. So Tyrone is asking if I can resend the invite for the Monday meetings. For some reason, when you accidentally canceled, it was removed from my calendar. Okay, I will do that. I'll do that tomorrow. Wayne is asking, how is your 20 people going to be divided? So, Dawn is asking this. So I guess she means in regards to the Block Geeks, how are 20 people going to divide the Block Geeks?
Yeah, I got a lot of people that joined my Brooklyn blockchain study group, because again, I didn't know how people wanted to do it or whatever. I guess Cherie thought it was a good idea, so now she put it out to everybody. But I was just going to, like, everybody that's in my group, I was trying to get like between 10 and 20 people, and once we did that, I'll just buy it and you can just reimburse me or whatever. But we'll buy, if it's 5 of the team one for $500. And I think I would limit it to like 20 people really, because I don't know if it's going to be a thing where they're checking IPs and then knocking people off and all of that stuff. So, because it's not a thing that we're all going to be on all the time. That's what I'm saying. Like, everyone's not going to be on it all the time. So I would probably limit it like 20 people for one $500. I think that's reasonable. I don't, you know, they start seeing 100 of them coming through, it's gonna be like, they're scamming the system. So I want to be more reasonable. I don't want to like basically steal the whole damn thing, you know?
Right. Right.
So yeah, I would think let's limit it to 20. I mean, what do you think, Cherie?
I'm fine with 20. I'm fine with that. We want to be fair to these people as well, because they have, you know, a platform to run and a business to run as well. So
right,
you know,
as well, yeah.
Yeah, so when we get our Black Blockchain School up, we don't want 100 people on one log.
The bootleg.
You know, there will be like, somebody will be there with the recorder like this, recording the classes and bootlegging it on YouTube. You know they will be, but you know, yeah, that's okay.
Oh, I have one question. I think Naficia asked the question about Neo and Ethereum. I said I was going to answer it live.
Okay.
Block Geeks, they go through everything. So once we have that, they go through every one of those platforms on an ongoing basis. So I'm sure that as the new one comes up, they'll do a course on it, or they'll do a good paper on it, like basically explaining what that token does, what that platform is good for or not. That's why I was so adamant on getting that I know that whatever I was going to do, I was going to, because you want to be not only this high level stuff about the blockchain, but you want to be current with the current stuff that's happening. And because things are changing, like Neo had a big problem the other day, and you want to be able to understand, what is this guy on Twitter talking about? Like, it's a scam. Is credits a really scam? What is credits trying to do? You know, can they do 1 million transactions per minute? Why can't that work? Why wouldn't it work? You know what I mean? Like, we want to be in a place where we can at least talk about that. And you know, like when you look at RChain, like for instance, if you look at RChain, you know, RHOC, look at their website and you'll see their explainer video. It makes it how they explain why they're what they're trying to do. I think that's the kind of thing that we have to understand, like how to. Right now, the reasons why Ethereum or Bitcoin is limited in the number of transactions because how the blocks are being made, right? They're like one behind each other like that. But there's other blockchains that want to do side chains, like on the side of it, and you know, go in different directions like a highway. So if you can understand and be able to teach people like that, then you kind of really know what you're talking about. And
Right.
I think that's what they're paying the consultants for.
Right.
So, that's what I really wanted to talk about.
So with that, we have gone over again, but we still have a lot of people here, so we thank you so much for being a part of the Black Blockchain Consultants Group. If you have questions, of course, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. If you need a study group, don't forget to post it. Let people know the day and time that you want to meet. And tomorrow morning, I will send out, it's going to be a long email with all the stuff you asked for, but I will send out the long email with all of that so that you can have the links and the things that you need, and you can be ready for Python for Everyone, which is starting next Monday. So you want to sign up now so that, you know, you can log in, you know, you're ready to go for next Monday for the Coursera course. So with that, I want to wish everyone a great evening. I want to thank my panel for being here today. And that is it. Night, everybody.
Good night.